Hello traders, this is Alex with the StockMatrix program. We're at my X account, CBOT man 33. If you're wanting to review stuff, I have some commodity stuff. I have different things on there, some related, some not, but it's an easy way for me, and I'll be putting the trade that we're reviewing today up here as well. Let's move on to the portfolio since I have my internet on here. This is our StockMatrix portfolio on bar chart. I just put it on there because it's free and it's good service. If you're interested, you can only get one portfolio if you don't pay for it. So I'm too cheap. But anyway, our trade today was Coke, and we also rolled earlier in the day um, Tesla. So this is our new position. This is our old position. Oops, guess you can't see it. This is our old position here that we took off. Again, we had 2 weeks. My rule is kind of 2 weeks. Unless you're about ready to get stopped out, then I stretch it to the first week, with 1 week to go. But anyway, we were deep in the money. I went ahead and rolled it. Uh, we had 2 weeks left. We had an April on. So anyway, it wasn't going to get stopped out, so I just went ahead and rolled it during the day. Now, of course, the benefit to that is, let's say this is a low, right? I've rolled it down. They can't take that 15 grand away or 10 grand of profit. But the disadvantage is there's more time value now, right? I burn up a lot of the time value. So this 4 grand, 5 grand that I paid for this option has mostly a lot of time. I go one strike in the money. I do the same thing. It's repetitive, right? That's why to be a successful trader, you got to do things repetitive. It's like building a McDonald's franchise, right? You do it because it's repetitive. The success is in no change. So anyway, I'd rolled that, and we did the Coke. We did take a loss on the Coke put, and we'll look at the chart here in a second. So anyway, we had a big day though. Holy smokes! I talked about it all last week about concerning of an extension of this bear trend, or either correction, right, or a bear trend. We still don't know yet, but we had 128% return today. We're at 32,000. So now again, that's potential profit, right? Because we're not stopped out yet. Now the Tesla's locked in, at least part of it. So we know that we're gonna get crunch right back. Now again, I fictitiously started this 150 grand, so we're at 184,000. Now again, I picked that number out of the blue. I went and looked to see what the average deposit for a stock trading account was, around 155,000 or something. So anyway, that's good. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let's move on to the actual trade itself. And here is the statistical page. And we do have a few annuals that are coming in tomorrow. Again, tomorrow's Friday. Today's Thursday. So the 4th. And then, of course, then the weekend. So there's a few that kind of come in over the weekend. Not a whole lot. Before, when it was coming off its highs, we had a lot of annuals. Now we have a few less, right? And again, once we get past, it looks like next week's going to be real quiet. Actually, no annuals that I can see real quick here. Now, what does that mean, right? Well, that means there's no resistance or support. So the market can trend. So you got to be a little cautious when there's nothing involved, right? Now, we only have one 90-degree. Again, I got them over here. This is 90, of course, pretty obvious. Two sets of 45. We came off a 45 there. We did make 2 new highs, and of course we're long both of these. Because why? Because we're following the trend. I'm not trying to be a rocket scientist here. I'm getting a little aggravated at people who kind of question stuff, right? And that's the nature of the beast, right? I'm doing this for free. I'm trying to help people out. Use my 4 decades of experience to help people out. And I don't know. No one cares, I guess. Maybe I'll give it another 3 or 4 months, but no one's clicking on it. No one's likes. No one's nothing. And I've been successful. Again, I'm doing this every time there's a trade, so you can look at it. But again, my whole purpose of this is to help people to learn how to trade. Well, we are long the 2 stocks, 3 stocks that are up, right? So let's go to the actual trades. Yeah, we bought Coke today. We got a little spun there, right? We were long ED, which made new highs, and we're long Cintas, which kind of messed around, didn't really do much. So again, we're only long the 3 out of the 17 select stocks in the stock matrix. I'm long the only ones that are up, and I'm short the ones that are going down. So now again, sometimes you stay sideways, and a system like this will lose. It's inevitable. When you're active, though, and again, the problem with this system, the stock matrix program, is it don't care about anything. There's no algorithm to set for a fast market. So you're going to leave a lot on the table. So a little common sense might help, and I'll go through a few of the charts that concern me a little bit of that actual scenario. So let's look at we did make, I believe, a new low. Again, here's the index, right? This is the total of all the 17 select stocks. And we were up last time I clicked it, and now we're down on the short term. Long term gained a couple. But let's go to, I just clicked this again. I double clicked it today, so it isn't quite right. But you can see that 392,000, that's a new low for my index since I've kept track prior to January 6th, the official start date. I think I started 6 months prior to that. And I didn't start saving it till October. But anyway, since then, this is a new low. So now we had the lowest low we had was 15 under. And back in January, we got to 11 under on the actual long-term trades. So we're back to that right now. And again, I'll go through the charts and give you a little concern of mine that I have. So anyway, again, the index, again, the total vol is making lower highs and lower lows, right? The definition of that is trend down. So you got a few long and most of them short. And what happens in these environments is the trend tends to accelerate, right? The bear markets get ugly fast. Bull markets take years to progress, and the bear market comes and destroys it in a short period of time. Now, again, like I've been concerned about is this back rally was so meager. It's just a putrid thing. This is the NVIDIA, and you can see the lunar eclipses. We're back. We're just starting to trend down. This was basically the same price it was 6 months ago on the previous solar eclipse. So again, went up. Now we could go down equal amount, right? So just a logical thought process. Let's say this is an equal amount. What is that, 13? There's 13, right? So you could have an equal process down here, and this is the kind of the objective. If this is the balancing point, right, the equilibrium or the equator of the market. Here's Meta. Again, this is my StockMatrix program, how I actually generate the trades. And you can see the stops are up here a ways. And I put this gap in here because it definitely had an intraday gap from the previous day. And again, I highlighted it or de-highlighted it or made it gray so that I can see where the gap is if it fills it or whatnot. And you can see we're back to the solar eclipse and just kind of monkeying around. Now the solar eclipse projection was up here, so we definitely missed that target. And here is Coca-Cola, and you can see this has been up and down. And again, we had a little squirrely trade here, which again makes sense, right? You're trying to fit. Now the problem with Coke, again, this is where the system don't care about any of this shit. But we were 360 degrees over on your Gann wheel, or 1 year, right, from that low to this high. So again, I have a hard time myself personally starting Coke trade. Now again, the system's been in here for a while, right? It's been long since here and got stopped out here, so it's definitely profitable. And of course, it got so short here and long here. So again, it made money before. So, but me, if I just started getting in on these trades, I would just have a hard time buying Coke right here since we're 360 degrees over. Now again, the system don't care about any of that. Again, it could double from here, right? It could go to 150, and I go, oh, I should have took it, right? Well, again, I overthink things a lot because I know the data in the back of my head. But again, the system don't care about any of that. I just don't care. Here's Google, and again, you can see back in the day when we got short this thing, I kind of thought 90 degrees over would be probably an important zone, and that's still my thought process. Who knows what price, right? We're back to the solar eclipse close, right? I forgot to highlight these, but here is the solar eclipse close. It did close a little weaker, so that again leaves. Again, we had a lower close from solar to solar, just like a lower close on a monthly or lower close on a daily. That makes me a little more negative, and the market is a little more negative. Let's look at Microsoft again, another ugly chart. You can see that we're definitely even more exposed to the lower lows here that we're making. So, and it's a little older in girth, right? The 90 degrees over from that high was this lunar eclipse, and it didn't do anything. It actually consolidated the market, which should have been a rally, right? But that's all the rally we got. Again, it was just a weak stick. Amazon. Same kind of situation, 45 degrees over is our first zone, kind of a high, 90 degrees over, we'll put it in May. So got a whole month to go. Again, a gap down below the previous solar eclipse. So it broke through that support without even batting an eye. Very negative, in my opinion. Apple, and the daily charts, when I go through them, will show it a little more better. But again, an intraday gap down. Apple's just kind of a, again, some of this has to do with Doge and all that, right? Apple, a lot of Apple phones that are government phones that are probably going to get taken away. They're using it for personal use. So a lot of contracts and stuff that, and Adobe is another one, right? A lot of people use Adobe in their software, and they might, again, which I don't know. There's probably something to that. Who cares, right? System don't care about that. It just follows the line, and the algorithm goes long or short. Here's Tesla. Again, dropped down, made it slow a little earlier than the rest, but it was 55% down. So obviously. But again, back to the solar, right? So is it a low or is it just beginning? I got a bad feeling that our highs for the years are in. So that's just my opinion. And then this next week will really tell the tale. And when I get on with you, if I have any trades, or at least by next weekend, I will help you explain that a little bit more. Here's Lynn, kind of a safer trade, right? It kind of sort of did not get stopped out. We were close. So again, that'd be one that could be targeted by tomorrow's trade, or maybe even Monday. Monday will be a new thing, but it won't matter there. Now here's one that, again, the bull of bulls. We got long here, and we have not got stopped out. Now we're moving our stops. I had to roll it once, so it's been a very good trend. Ones that you like. Now, but here again, I am in a hard time leaving all these profits. Now the system's going to, because it follows specific rules. Me personally, I'd be probably raising some puts up, maybe a little shallower, because we got 90 degrees over from this low and 360 degrees over from this other low. So again, I'm having a hard time being purist with the system. Again, that could be wrong. Maybe we'll be at 130, and I go, I should have never done that, right? But again, you don't have to get out. You just maybe buy weekly puts, or maybe a 2-week puts or something to cover this pokelage. Again, the system don't care though, like I said. Adobe, again, piece of crap. Easy trading trend is just sell it every time prior to the report. But again, as the system goes, it's just a chopper to the downside though, right? Trend is down, chopper to the downside. IBM is unknown, trying to figure out which way it wants to go. We're one of these that actually have a higher solar eclipse close. So, from this close to this close. Now, just for curiosity's sake, I'm going to go through just to show you how powerful it can be. I'm running this trend, this line from close to close from solar eclipse. Now, let's just see how it did. Now, I do a lot of this stuff. Behind the scenes. So again, you can see that this hit this low. This speed line, which again confirms this importance of this. Now that doesn't mean we can't go back down to this, but I believe that this is a pretty interesting bully market. Now we're short, but again, the stops after tomorrow will go here, so we'll still be a loss, but it'll be more of a manageable loss. Here's BK, the New York Bank of Magellan. Again, a higher solar eclipse close here, one of the safe plays, but turned a little ugly. So again, you can see that these are the one-to-ones. This one actually projected the solar eclipse close based on this one-to-one. And again, I drew this in on one of the videos to call the wall, call the time and price on that close. Now, again, who cares, right? You got to make money on it, right? I've called zillions of thousands upon thousands of time and prices in my day of 4 decades of doing this, but you still got to make money. Procter & Gamble, the chopper, again, did what it's doing. We did not make a new high, and we did not make a new low, right? For every action, there's an equal reaction. It makes sense to me. The solar eclipse close, we're just sideways. Again, I have a hard time buying new highs in strength in some of these. Probably getting a little overvalued on the books. Again, I don't know. Again, I have no idea what the dividend or none of that crap is. So, again, to me, it doesn't really matter. Here is JPM. Again, throughout this whole deal is a heck of a bull trend. Immediately turned bearish, right? I think we're down quite a bit. And I'll go through the daily chart and confirm some of that. Here is Coinbase. Again, not much to report there. I mean, we're just struggling to go up. So now the stops will get pulled down to here after tomorrow, unless, whatever the highs, if we don't go any higher than this, it'll be right here. So this, I'm assuming 210.50 will be where the stops will be for the next week. Cintas is one of our uptrenders. And if you know, after following me, that I was kind of, after I seen this, I think it's going to be a grinder to the upside, but it'll take a long time. I think a new high might be at the end of the year or a year later, something, right? It's going to take a while. It's going to be a grinder. Does not mean you can't make a new low, but I would be a trader on this market, shorter term. Longer term, you buy the dips, in my opinion. Now you can see I drew these in on one of the videos. We had 3 lows, right? So 90 degrees over was important to me, which was a low, but also a high. So on the solar. So again, you got to be a little cautious, right? Not just to buy. I wouldn't buy strength in Cintas or sell weakness either, for that fact. All right, let's go on to the daily chart now. Let me get it set up here. Okay, I got it set up. NVIDIA's the first up. You can see the daily chart here. Now again, I always had these in the back of my head, but I added the little circle thing. Here's lows, which was the low back here, right, the 5th. So every 5th I'm kind of keeping track of. And then, of course, the 21st and the 7th were highs. So you can see the data there, lunar eclipse, solar eclipse. But this new low, that little gap is a little concerning. Of course, I've been bitching about how weak this whole thing has been. This little back rally and Meta was just, I didn't like. Of course, the end result was a new low, right? So my instincts were correct. Just a putrid back rally. This, if this was a correction, it's pretty ugly. Well, now we're down 28% on the close today with a gap, which caught people off guard a little bit. Now we are 33 days over tomorrow, which on Meta, which market days, right? So again, that's kind of like Gans 45. Well, let me just run the 48 days actually on the count of the calendar count. Now, of course, that includes holidays and stuff where this does not. Anyway, I used 11, 22, 17, 22, 33, 44, 55, 66 is usually the end of the matrix. Again, so that's how I got the name. The stock matrix is because of this data here, and I don't want to get into that. Coke made a new high. You can see it's had a outside day, a down outside or a gap up day today. Closed week though. Again, like I've said, I'm having a hard time being a super bull and new highs on Coke. I think you take profits if I'm a trader. Google, back to the lows. I don't know if it made a new low, close enough. Maybe a double bottom. 27% down total, which again is a little concerning to me. This little putrid back rally end result was this. So again, we'll see if we're done. Now tomorrow's Friday, and then Monday we know Black Friday, Black Monday, back from the 88 days. You got to be a little cautious. Now we could puke this whole thing out. This whole bear move could be done by Monday, but it could be 50% lower on some of these. Like Google's down 27. We could drop 25% in 2 days. It's been a while since we shut things off because it's too volatile. Now it can happen. People don't think it can, but it can. Again, we've been fluffing this market up with these, money, these free money presses that they found, and a lot of that money probably got turned into the stock market. So you got to be a little cautious there with these magic money machines that they found. So yeah, here is Microsoft again, a little older break because our highs are here, and our secondary event was here where it was making highs on some of the others. Amazon, February high. We're coming into well, not really an annular, but right, it was February 4th was that zone. So that's tomorrow, the 4th. That's what is that? 2 months off the high. Here is Apple, a terrible gap down, an older market because it made its highs at the end of the year, actually the 26th. Oh, I guess I have it right here. So you can see that we had a lot of annuals here as well, and then solar eclipse, lunar eclipse low, lunar high, lunar low, solar high, pretty classic, and then a continuation down. That's an ugly one there. Out of all the ones so far, Apple's by far the most ugly. You can see that we're gonna, this thing's just getting going. And you can see back here when we had this break, it was more of a time break, but it did break percentage-wise. What is that, 32%? Yeah, 32%. And that would an equal price break. We're at that level right now. So now that's a price break. Price ahead of time, maybe, right? Now if we break 32%, that would, in the same price and time, I mean, you're talking, down here, which again, it could happen, but this gap seems awfully extreme. I don't know much about Apple. I don't like Apple. I don't use Apple. So again, I'm kind of a bias. Tesla, again, kind of made its lows early. I like trading stuff that's in the news, like that's controversial. Elon Musk, everybody's like, whatever. He builds a good product. He's going to be building phones, I think, pretty soon. So whether you like him or not, I like to trade around controversial stuff like Trump, just other stuff, right? Anything that's war related. I like to trade stocks that are based on something, good or bad, because I like to go both sides. That was Lynn. Here's ED again. We made a new high. Solar eclipse was a gap up. Had a lot of gaps up since the lows. Now we're coming into 66 market days. Again, that's about the end of this matrix sequence. It'll be around April 17th. So be interesting to see what it does into that. Let me see how many calendar days that'll be. 99. So 90-ish, right? 91 is actually the 13th over the weekend. So this would be an actual, time period on the Gann wheel if you're using calendar days. But again, since I like to use market days, it stretches it out to here. Again, calendar days are a little tricky, right? 360 degrees in a circle, but there's 366 days, there's 365.4 days in a year. So it's a little tricky, not just to be obvious. Now here's your ugly Adobe with the gap in Marty's, and somebody text me or email, well, the reason why it has so many gaps is because these government contracts are getting caught up in the Doge thing. Well, if that's the case, Adobe's way too high. But you can see it's had some pretty serious maneuvers regardless of Doge. Here's IBM. Again, doesn't know what it wants to do. You can see that it looks a little heavy to me. We have 3 highs in place. Again, I like 3 swings. I like 3 highs. I like 3 lows. I like 3 gaps. I like 3 lower closes. Whatever. I like sets of 3s. So a little concerning to me that that might be a high. Here's BK in a coil. Again, one of the safe plays, but you can see that it's been a nice grinder. I don't. This is one I don't want to be short just because the system is whatever it is. But me personally, on the thought, mine thought is, I would be a buyer of bear traps, right? So if it makes a new low, I'd probably take that trade. Because why? Because we had a bull trap high. For every action there's equal and opposite reaction. I'm a believer that that'll be a low trap down here or here, right? If it gets real ugly, so you got to be a little cautious. Use options only. That's all I trade. Here's Procter & Gamble, again, a sideways chopper with a gap up, a gap down on JP Morgan. Yeah, I don't know. That was a pretty good bull, and it just got wrecked. Not only did we come off the highs, we broke the uptrend line, we also broke the swing. So swing traders are licking their chops on these back rallies. If you're a swing trader, you're bearish, plain and simple. So this back rally was a bait and switch, right into the solar, right? Poof, down we go. Here's Coinbase, again, a pretty ugly trade. Now we had a bull trap high, so I am thinking a trap low, right? For every action, there's an equal but opposite reaction. I'm thinking a nice bear trap down here. Again, kind of use a little bit of logic. Again, you got to use extra timing as your backup, which I do, right? Here's Cintas, a chopper. I think of that, the grinder to the upside, as you see throughout this time. This took a whole year to make a new high, almost a year. I think that's going to be the similar case here. And again, it could gonna make a new low, right? I mean, that could make a new low here. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you buy the dips. You don't buy strength, whatever you do. It doesn't make sense. You're not going to miss it. And if you do, and I'm wrong, whatever, right? There's a zillion other markets to trade. Okay, let's go. Here's the E-mini S&P, and you can see kind of a similar deal, right? Solar clips, it went back to it, poof, went, kind of closed soft, and then we gap lower, new lows again. It's currently trading right now at 10 o'clock at night, and we got this trap low that I'll be watching for. There's one here and one here. Obviously, this is one that makes sense to me. Now, again, we are down 13% is all. That's nothing, man. What the hell? Now, again, to me, we're just down from the solar, right? Because, again, we closed at the solar cliffs, basically, down a little bit. So, again, we're just barely. If this is a true bear market, it's got a lot of room. Again,
refresh page.
Everybody's been so set up that it never breaks. I mean, every market. Again, I come from the commodity world. Commodities always have 50% breaks, and long-term sideways action. The stock market always goes up. It's just amazing to me. Simple, really. Again, that's why I got interested when I retired from the commodity business to set up an option program on the stocks. You don't have to worry about it rolling and time and spreads and all kinds of weird shit that you got to worry about in the commodities. It's a lot easier. Just don't make it complicated. Draw the trend line in or whatever you're using, moving average, and don't get screwed up. Don't guess. Now, I talked about different things that I would, but that system is totally different, right? It follows its own deal, its own algorithm. So here, that was the Dow. This is the mini NASDAQ, kind of similar to the QQQ. Had the trap high. Again, I'm thinking more down here somewhere. Again, everybody's kind of all wound up about the Trump tariffs. Again, we've always had tariffs, so I don't know what people are talking about really. Just a different amount. I mean, whatever. It's here and there. Just something to get the public, goobered on so that they can make more money. Again, these big boys that own all these big companies, they're wanting it to break because they can buy more. Here's the QQQ. Again, the trap high. Kind of, man, that's an ugly trade down there today. We did not make a new low, so at minimum, we're going to bust that, and I'm guessing we're going to go down here. But again, I think it could happen by Monday, Tuesday, right, or maybe Friday, tomorrow. So that's why you got to be cautious on these bears because they get pretty active. Okay, I'm going to sign off. I rambled on. Just be careful, please, and click the like button. God damn it, no one's clicking the like button. If you want me to keep doing this, again, I'm doing this for free. And again, review some of these videos if you're first time watcher, because there's a lot of good info on there. I've done this for so long. I'm trying to teach by example, and that's my whole premise of doing the StockMatrix program. I'm not asking for any money. You can buy me a cup of coffee if you want. If you've made some money on a trade or something, great. Otherwise, I don't give a rip. All right, you have a great trading rest of your week, and be careful Monday.